The main event that we've all been waiting to be over came up next, and regardless of what we say about Chris Jericho or the physical condition he's in or his, contributing to a lunatic, psychopath, lying, pathological liar that tried to bring an end to democracy, and despite the fact that his wife was at the, insurrection where they tried to overthrow the United States government and all this other stuff, he's still a main event guy. And MJF, even though the bloom is off the rose there and people know that he's just one of the boys now after he cooperated in doing musical dinner theater, he's still been presented as main event guy. Neither one of these guys, MJF because he's a worker, not a fucking acrobat, and Jericho because he's 50 and not in the best shape, neither one of these guys are going to be doing handsprings and cartwheel dives over the top and flying have-a-coronas, as Dr. Tom Pritchard would say, and all that other shit. They're going to work and tell a story, but they were left not only absolutely no moves to do by the rest of this program, but you'd already seen a human body withstand every possible dangerous, punishing move and et cetera that could be done, and then they've got to go out and just two guys and work and have a match. That's why, and they're the ones that drew the fucking rating, and they're the ones that draw the money because they're the main event guys. That's why you don't let every goddamn trained chimpanzee in your preliminary roster go out and do everything they know ahead of time. So this sucked. There was nothing left to do to each other or for each other. So naturally, they, instead of trying to make it kind of different, they go to the floor immediately. But MJF gets the video camera from one of the floor cameramen, starts shooting, gives the fans the finger, gets the boo and everything, and then turns around and there's Jericho, and Jericho punches the camera lens, and MJF takes a bump. They went to a break. They come back. Chris Jericho made a comeback. He was moving like the air consisted of Jell-O. He did hit the lion salt, but then he went up to the top rope and did the worst 10 punches while he was standing on the top rope to poor MJF I've ever seen in my life, and then did the Hurricane Rana. MJF gets the armbar. Jericho rolls into the walls. MJF got out, and they had a sloppy fight right in the middle of the ring. And then MJF hit his pile driver thing, 2 count. MJF ball shot at him and got the walls on Jericho and milked it, but Jericho got the rope break, which was probably one of the bigger pops because they actually milked that well. Both of them turned around at the same time, and MJF got his diamond ring, and Jericho pulled the bat out from under where he obviously knew it was and had been leaned up there before the match. He didn't even have to look. Referee Aubrey sees MJF with the ring, and instead of disqualifying him because he's got a foreign object, she takes it and hands it out. That's a thing now that you do. The referee can see the object, but if you haven't used it, they can just take it and get rid of it. That's a thing that's come along the last few years. And so she's putting it out while Jericho gut shots MJF with the bat. And then goes for the Judas elbow, which is banned. And we forgot to mention the people sang Judas for Jericho for his entrance because he could neither play his music nor use his move. Some of the people had cue cards for the fucking chorus of Judas. But Jericho goes to do the Judas and then stops and realizes, oh my God, I can't do that. And turns around and MJF hits the Judas on him and gets the armbar, and Jericho taps out. I'm sure all of this seemed like a good idea when he pitched it. But between the fact that the rest of the show killed anything these guys could physically do, the whole thing is fucking goofy anyway, the way they built this up, and the fact that it's Jericho's own fault that he lost because, think about this. The referee's back is turned. You have a baseball bat in your hands. So you hit your opponent with the bat, not over the top of his head so to knock him out and pin him, but you push the end of the bat into his stomach so he doesn't even go down, so that then you can try to hit the move that is the specific move that's banned and you can't hit it in that. So then the guy that you hit in the stomach with the bat just comes right back and hits you with your own move. And why didn't he just hit him with the fucking bat, Brian?
Why didn't he hit him with the Judas when Aubrey wasn't looking?
Or that. Yes, the referee's back was still turned. So the fucking babyface cost himself the match because he's an idiot and he doesn't know how to use a baseball bat. And nothing that these guys did could be in any. They were trying to tell a story, but the bumps, nothing was dangerous. Nothing was, oh my God, how's he going to get up from that? Because you've already established that everybody can get up from everything. And then they put these guys on last. It just blah. And like I said, Jericho was in quicksand. This was one of the worst shows they've ever done from a standpoint of trying to make sure that now that they've got the people back in the audience and they've got the hot crowd, they make sure that those people would never, ever want to see any other wrestling ever again because there's nothing left to look at. Here it's all here. We're going to do everything but burn these bodies after we fucking drain them of their blood. God, I took notes. And I double dog dare me or anybody else to remember anything that happened on this television program a day later because it was just incessant chaos and the humanity through the whole thing from start to finish. And that's my closing thoughts on this program.
I don't disagree. I hated the MJF Jericho match. But then again, I hated the entire feud. This is one of the worst booked feuds in the history of professional wrestling. I'm glad Chris Jericho got his moment, and they certainly did everything they could to make sure he did. From Jericho teasing in the interview earlier in the show that he wants to hear the fans sing, to AEW releasing the lyrics to fans. They even showed it on camera so you could see the fans holding their phones in their hand while they read the lyrics that were given to them.
Is that why everybody was looking at that? I thought they were shooting video. They're looking at their phone. They texted people the lyrics?
They didn't text people the lyrics. They posted the lyrics so people would have them. You can go to your phone and get them. And next thing you know, you could sing the words that you have no idea what he's been singing for weeks other than the chorus. They gave him his moment. He looked like a pig in shit, literally and figuratively.
Oh.
And you know what? He'll have that to live with. If he stays off TV for a very long time while his mock band tours, I'll be very, very happy. He has been so counterproductive in every way. The Orange Cassidy feud was so bad, but the MJF one took it to a whole nother level of suck. It went a year. This program, this feud, where they already did the War Games and they already did the football field match. And everyone already got their ass kicked and beat up and thrown through soda machines. That all happened to lead to this match.
And then they finish it with a single match, and the heel goes over.
This has been one of the single worst feuds in the history of wrestling. MJF is a smart guy, or a smart kid maybe, I should say. But you know what?
He couldn't control this.
Just going along with all this. Yeah. He didn't have to go along with all this. Because he comes out of this a year later. Is he in a better position than he was a year ago? I don't think so.
No. He lost the special as soon as he started cooperating in all the obvious foolishness and the comedy and the dancing and getting his head
he
flushed in the toilet.
He lost it as soon as Chris Jericho said, hey, this guy has something. He's pulling some numbers with the fucking ratings. People are into him. How do I latch onto that after I'm done with Orange Cassidy? That's what fucking happened.
Here's an idea. Instead of MJF losing pretty much everything that he ever attempted up until the final match and then beating Chris Jericho like that got him, how about if he had won everything up until now and Jericho only wins the final one? Then MJF might have been over and Jericho is a legend and got the last word. And MJF could actually be a main event guy, but instead they wrung every bit of special out of him. They made him one of the boys. They beat him and made him ineffectual. They humiliated and embarrassed him. None of his shit ever worked, and his guys were a slopped-together band of misfits. And then he beats Jericho.
And who do they put him with now? Because obviously some of the main guys are tied up in programs, and there are new guys coming in. Maybe some guys that may say, hey, I'd like to work with MJF and make a request. Who do you program him with now? What do you do with him?
I don't know. Well, I don't have any confidence that this thing with him and Jericho is even over. Do you think
it has to be? It has to be.
No, it's not. It's just going to be postponed. If Jericho's going to go on tour and then come back, you think he's going to not come back and want to get even unless they find something else to occupy Jericho with where he can look good with somebody else?
They got to find something to occupy Jericho. A bored Jericho produces some of the worst shit that he convinces himself is really good.
And idle Jericho is the devil's playground.
Oh, go away. Stay away. Everyone will be all right. You've done your job. AEW is fine. They will survive. You can now go tour with Fozzy forever. Go on the endless tour.
And come back in a Texas death match with Vince Neil and Sebastian Bach.
No, no more three-ways. I mean, come on. No more three-ways.
Not in a wrestling context, at least. All right.